Trying to figure out a little bit more about, say, okay, that seems to be working, so let me just double check that. We've got two microphones, two cameras, two computer systems here, trying to give you an idea as to what's going on with the weather on Wednesday night. Looks like audio is working for Twitch, and you can join us on there if you want to. And let me just make certain that we are netcasting on YouTube. Okay, yes, we have audio. We are in good shape. Okay, so that should do it for now. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. It is Wednesday, the 9th of April, and we are going into some possible stormy weather as we get into around Thursday. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Take a look at a few extra things here first before we get going too far. Today's temperatures very chilly in the morning, back into and around the mid to upper 30s. So officially it did not get down to freezing in the Chattanooga area. No rainfall to talk about, and we do have, again, a little bit less for the year itself, about 1/4 of an inch behind. That rain this weekend did a very good job of keeping us a little bit more supplied with rainfall, so we're not down by too much. We're still ahead for the month by about 1.25 inches, so good news on that for right now, and looking very good. Hopefully throughout the next couple of days as some more chances of rainfall start to head our direction. Heading out to the classroom in the morning, we're going to be seeing again the potential for some chilly conditions back in the mid to upper 40s. Not quite as cold as today, but it is going to be again decently chilly out there. And then toward about midday, mid-morning into lunchtime, showers and thunderstorms begin and continue through the rest of the day. So the kids going to school early in the morning will probably not need any rain protection. That may not be the case as the kids head home, and that is also where it's kind of hard to see with the glare out there. Let me turn that off for a second. I wish that we would have gotten this fixed before we installed it and made this where our light was going to be. Again, a slight risk category possible by the time the kids head home from school. So there might be some delayed dismissal times going into Thursday afternoon, so something to think about there. We've got a storm system that is again on its way. It's moving in from the northwest. Warm air coming off the western Gulf of Mexico, pushing up to the north and east, and the latest energy of this storm system, the cold front and the attached area of low pressure, that's moving in, and some of those clouds that you see over Middle Tennessee, western Kentucky, those are drifting down our direction. So we may see a few more clouds tonight. We'll see a lot more tomorrow, and then that is where we see the potential of rainfall starting to occur across portions of the area. Taking a look around the area for tonight, downtown in the Bailey's Heating and Air Camera. One of my favorite buildings, the public library downtown. It is National Library Week, so good opportunity to get out and support your local library wherever that happens to be. So go ahead and take a look around there and support your local library. Spread the word about all the neat stuff the library does for you and everybody else. Some great opportunities to help out there. Lee Point, traffic at 153 and 64 heading out tonight. Dry and no problems at all being seen. A little bit dusty out there, way off into the distance on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. Looking across Broad Street around the area of the News 12 studios and up toward Lookout Mountain in the distance, and some of the stars up there seen above the crest. Traffic moving. Winds not really going too far too fast for this evening. Again, Patriot Concrete camera from downtown. Let's take a look at traffic around 2475. Heavier traffic and moving at this point. Usually there's a pretty good scrum from 75 north to 24 west, so we do see a little bit more activity taking place there for right now. Still getting some jams in the feed, so hopefully those won't be too much to worry about there. Holtzclaw Avenue, bottom of your screen, I-24 on the ridge. Traffic light and moving along on the Chattanooga Zoo Hug a Bunny camera, and that is coming up in the course of the next couple of weeks. Temperatures have dropped down to 60 degrees at the airport. and going to see a fairly cool evening, as we saw just a little while ago. But winds right now out of the southwest, decently dry, humidity about 47% or so. We're watching this storm system coming in, and this one again will be giving us the potential of showers and thunderstorms. Now, it's still out mainly west of the Mississippi River at this time, but it's going to be heading our direction, and then winds behind this front coming in from the northwest are going to sweep this thing through. This will be moving through into around Thursday afternoon and evening. So that is where we may see again the potential for a lot more problems coming into the area. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a bit. Timing this system out again into tomorrow morning, the front approaches from the northwest, so we should not see much in the way of rainfall to begin with. But then that front gets closer to us, and we see that front moving its way toward us. It's going to be a slow mover, so just around dismissal time, there may be some showers and thunderstorms across the area. Rush hour into at about midnight or so, that is where we see the potential of showers and heavier thunderstorms making their way into the area. So give or take about 24 hours from now, that is where we're looking at the potential problem. Friday morning, we may catch a bit of a lull in the potential of rainfall, but then as this area of low pressure tracks on through, air around low pressure in the northern hemisphere rotates counterclockwise, so this is going to take moisture off the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico, rotate it around back to the north and west, and then eventually drop it down behind where that area of low pressure has been. That'll keep our chances of showers going through Friday afternoon, and that is where we see again the best potential of rain. Some of that rain could linger into Friday evening, but I think most of it should be gone by that time frame. That particular system will kick out into the Atlantic going into the weekend. It'll be chilly starting off the weekend, and then temperatures in the high 50s to low 60s. It will be very much on the cooler side starting things off on Saturday morning or Saturday evening. For Sunday morning, temperatures again will be brisk, back in the 30s and 40s, cooler than what we've seen with all the cloud cover gone back toward the east of us. And then Sunday afternoon looks pretty good. Temperatures back a little warmer and getting even warmer as we go into next week, approaching tax day next week, Tuesday. But it's going to be tomorrow afternoon and evening where we're really going to have to watch a little bit more about what comes up. So this again is going to be the potential for the worst area of thunderstorms taking place. Again, roughly Thursday evening is where we're going to see the most possible problems out there. What we saw yesterday, we were in the green marginal category, and yesterday and overnight the Storm Prediction Center bumped us up into a 2 out of 5 slight risk category. That again, most of the activity taking place well back to our west and then moving our direction as we go into Thursday afternoon and evening. So what exactly are we talking about when it comes to all this potential out there? The main thing is going to be damaging winds. That will be the best potential out of all this, from the Mid-South back over into northwest Georgia and parts of the News 12 viewing area. Then we get into around the possibility of hail. It's not a lot, but it's an elevated potential. Again, we're talking about 10 to 15% chance of any storm in this zone picking up 1 inch or larger hail. So there will be a potential of that. We don't have anything really taking place in the way of severe weather for, again, anything in the way of significant amounts. Let me just take a look and see if there's anything lurking here when it comes to severe hail, which for right now we don't see that. Significant hail would be 1.5 inches or larger, 2 inches or larger out there. And then there's the potential of tornadoes. And again, that is going to be about a 2% chance. Again, that doesn't sound like a lot, but here's the important thing. It's not a 0% chance either. And that is very significant in the sense that as of right now, we don't see the best potential of anything involving tornadoes out there. The significant tornado threat, we would see something on here if we were looking at a very active, moderate, or high risk of severe weather. That would be category EF2 tornadoes or higher. Also, long track tornadoes, tornadoes that stay on the ground for a very long period of time, sometimes for hours at a time, like the tri-state tornado. This is, again, good news in that we're not seeing anything in the way of major severe weather, but we are seeing, again, the potential of some severe weather, and that is what we really have to pay attention to. So tomorrow afternoon, Thursday afternoon, I would say dismissal time for the kids, and roughly into around News 12 at 11. Best potential, again, will be for damaging thunderstorm winds. Large hail will be the secondary threat there, a non-zero threat of tornadoes, and flash flooding, again, I'd say a non-zero threat. It's not much, but it is still possible. Remember, we got a pretty good soaking of rainfall, and all that water is still being absorbed by the soil, and that, if the soil is still wet, instead of getting absorbed into the soil, it runs off very quickly, and that's where we see our flash flooding threat continuing. So that is where we may see a bit of a problem taking place into the area. So that is something we really need to watch out for. Definitely time to stay weather aware, so keep it tuned to News 12 for more on that. Going out to the area around Island Cove Marina and Resort, the surface of Lake Chickamauga kind of stirred up a little bit. You can see a bit of a breeze passing over the surface of the waters, but not really seeing much of anything there. Again, for Thursday, there is going to be the potential of a slight risk of severe weather. It doesn't look like much, as we just explained, but it is still going to be possible that we could see that taking place into tomorrow. Then everything drains away as we go toward Friday afternoon. Could see some mostly sunny skies there, and temperatures will cool off about a category or so and stay cool into Saturday. We see some chilly numbers, 30s Sunday morning, lower 40s Saturday morning, but at least we get some sunshine from Saturday, Sunday into early Monday, and then more chances of showers and thunderstorms start to return to the area. And that is where the potential will exist for another round of showers and thunderstorms approaching early tax day next Tuesday. But so far, again, if everything holds, we're not looking at any severe weather taking place from this next system. This one is going to be much weaker than what this system that is going to be bringing us more potential severe weather will be doing. So that is something that we really need to watch out for. Next week, this could develop into something a little stronger, but we'll keep our eyes on that in the course of the next couple of days. So definitely want to stay tuned for more with News 12 on that. For right now, again, tonight it is peaceful, it is dry, not seeing anything in the way of major amounts of problems immediately, but that will be changing again as we go into very early, I would say, Thursday afternoon. So that is something that really needs to be considered at this point in time there. All right, our weather question of the day brought to you by roofquotes.com. This is a package that has been developed over decades. Used to be planes, used to be kites that we used to use to get information from way up in the atmosphere, because that can tell us how powerful storms can be, and the information that we get from these packages can help us do better forecasting. Ironically, with the current flamethrower battle axe budget cuts, so to speak, being done by the highest levels of government, there are fewer balloon launches going on, and therefore our data is being compromised, and therefore our forecasts are not going to be as good in the semi-near future if this idiocy continues at the highest levels of government in Washington. Cutting out NOAA and a lot of what goes on there is a very dangerous cutting off your nose to spite your face type situation, and the current administration really needs to reconsider what they are doing to this very vital piece of branch of government here. So the package designed to be carried by weather balloons high into the atmosphere, again, partially being gutted these days thanks to these weird decisions coming up from various people. To measure atmospheric conditions aloft is called a radiosonde, not a GPS unit, not a walkie-talkie, and not done by a specially trained pigeon named Fred. So which coincidentally took second place at 17%. So thanks to everybody who voted in our roofquotes.com question of the day. That if you'd like to vote or go to the other polls, news, sports, let's chat at 10 o'clock on weekday mornings, go ahead and go there, or go to our website at wdef.com/vote now to find out more about that. And thanks to roofquotes.com for being our sponsor. Thanks also to Mary Glover of Athens, Tennessee, for a beautiful view of an early morning sunrise with the sunrise light reflected off of the clouds that are there in the background. So a great picture scene there. Thanks to everybody for dropping in some absolutely amazing questions on there. So if you'd like to see these pictures for yourself, very easy to do that. And all you have to do is go to our website, wdef.com/photos. You can drop your pictures there. You can drop them to our social media pages. You can email them to us. You can be anonymous if you want to, but if you decide to drop us a picture so we can feature it, you can be anonymous, but please give us a description and or location. That would really help people like me out so we don't have to guess or fill in a picture from someplace about something. It would really help out on that. So please, again, send us your weather window pictures, and yours could be the next Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. Severe weather chances, let's see, we've already talked about that. Getting the pupper out in the morning. This is going to be interesting because, unfortunately, by the time we hit about mid-morning, chances of showers will be a problem, and then we could see some thunderstorms mixed in with there by about midday. Thanks to Nikki, News 12 viewer from Chattanooga, for a view of Smudge the water puppy. Enjoying getting out and splashing around. That's our dog walking forecast pupper picture of the day. Local businesses, if you would like to get your sponsor logo here, please contact our sales department. They're available through our website at wdef.com/advertise. Would really love to have you on board, and it would be really easy to get things taken care of. So if you'd like to negotiate and find out more, please go to our website. Again, that's wdef.com/advertise if you'd like to drop in and find out more there. Maybe you're the type of person who does not handle severe weather well or is kind of scared of things, which is okay, because that right there is your brain telling you that you need to be ready to protect yourself, and that in and of itself is not such a bad thing. If you let the weather situation get the better of you to where you can't even make a decision, that is something that really needs to be addressed, because your safety, your well-being, your life could depend on being able to act when it comes to a situation about severe weather. Now, that being said, and one more good example about what NOAA does to keep the community safe from severe weather, the National Weather Service in Morristown, Tennessee, which covers part of the News 12 viewing area, has put together this excellent page in regards to how you can lower your anxiety levels when it comes to anything of dealing with severe weather. And this has been put together by meteorologists and specialists with decades of experience. So this is an excellent page to take a look at. And if you'd like to take a look for yourself, or maybe tell somebody else about this page that might be able to help them address their anxiety and bring those levels down a little bit and help them get a little bit more comfortable with severe weather. I know I've known a lot of folks over the years that are very scared of what goes on. That includes kids, that includes adults. When I go talk to schools and I ask the kids who in here is, to raise their hands and say, who in here is just a little bit afraid of when people like me start talking about tornado warnings, and you hear the teachers mention that there could be storms, or their parents at home could say something like that, do you get a little bit concerned about what goes on? And both the kids and several of the adults raise their hands, which again is a very telling thing. And also, again, is good for the kids to see that some adults never get used to situations like this. Now, if that's the case, that's again one of the things that you can help get addressed in this website page. So if you'd like to know more, it's available at our website under the weather forecast section. Scroll down at wdef.com/weather, or go to the National Weather Service in Morristown at weather.gov/MRX if you'd like to find out more about what's going on there. Great opportunity to learn more. If this seems to be a waste of time to you, NOAA in general, there's a certain project out there that wants to cancel everything that NOAA does because they happen to talk about climate change. Again, that's a very foolish attitude and one that is a very backwards way of thinking about things. Trying to stop talk about climate change is not going to stop it. It is happening. We are helping to cause it, driving our fossil fuel powered society around. So canning a government agency just because you don't like what they're talking about and because you want to be able to call it fake and then get rid of it, not the smartest thing to do. Not even close to the smartest thing because of what NOAA does to help protect and inform the community. The idea of giving that over to a private forecasting firm, there is no no private forecasting firm out there that can handle everything of what NOAA does right now as a government agency. It is not possible, period, end of sentence. So any project out there that says all we have to do is get rid of NOAA and we've stopped all this foolish talk about climate change, well, it's not foolish, it is happening, and canning a government agency for this is not going to stop information from coming in from around the world. Again, it's one of this project's ideas about things. Again, is one of the most backwards, foolish, absolutely just unbelievably ridiculous ideas that I have ever heard of as a scientist, as a journalist, and as a citizen who pays taxes. This is just absolutely monstrously beyond the pale stupid that a project could think that all we have to do is just cancel an agency and, oh, we've stopped to talk about climate change. Well, that's not, I hate to inform you, but that's not happening. It's not going to happen. A lot of people are, again, going to be talking about this. You're going to have to be doing a lot more than just canceling NOAA. You're going to have to get rid of a lot of other agencies. And if you want to, again, in a situation that mirrors something that happened almost about a century ago on another continent, this is not a very good slippery slope to be on the way things are going. So speaking up about and for NOAA, find out what they do. Go and take a good hard look. Ask for a tour of the National Weather Service. Learn more about all the information that NOAA brings in and puts out. Learn about the forecasts that they use, how they put them together, the technology that your tax dollars and my tax dollars help pay for. All that goes into this and also helps to put together programs, like this. This is going to be one of the best ways that your tax dollars and my tax dollars are spent to help people, citizens, anybody else who wants to watch this, to lower their stress levels about severe weather. I do not know of any other private forecasting weather agency, anything in private hands that does anything even close to this. I could be wrong. There might be something out there that helps in a situation like this. If there is, somebody in a certain project should point that out. But as of right now, this is one of the best examples about what is best about where our tax dollars are spent. Okay, off the soapbox, but this is a very important thing, and if you would like to reduce your stress levels, weather.gov/MRX, a very good opportunity, again, to learn more. We do have, again, the potential for severe weather. We're going to be watching that. Also, if you haven't heard about this, the Colorado State University Tropical Weather Forecasting Update just dropped about a week ago tomorrow, their Atlantic Seasonal Hurricane Activity Forecast. This is issued in April of each year. This is where the late Dr. William Gray worked to put together his forecast. Now, for the average, which is again 91 to 2020, named storms average 14.4. We're expected to be a little bit higher than normal, but we are lower than last year's, I believe it was 24 named storms. 9 of those storms could become hurricanes. Of those hurricanes, 4 of them, just above the average, could become major hurricanes. That's category 3 and higher. So that is something to look at. Also, accumulated cyclone energy, or ACE, average of 123. What does that mean? It means that the water and the air that holds the heat that can create the thunderstorms should be at a certain level, again, given about a 30-year average somewhere in there. But this year is expected to be higher than normal, but it is also expected to be lower than what we saw last year. So yes, it's expected to be an average season. Pardon me, we're having some hiccups here. It's expected to be higher than average all the way around, but it is not expected to be as busy as 2024 was. So some good news there. We'll see if this pans out. The next update comes in 10 days after the start of hurricane season on June the 11th. I believe we'll also have Penn State's forecast coming out, and also NOAA's forecast is going to be coming up here pretty soon. Remember, we are only less than 2 months away from the start of hurricane season. So it's almost that time once again to be watching the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean for the idea about what may be another busy season coming our way. If you'd like to know more, tropical.colostate.edu. Great place to get the information direct from the source. So please drop by and take a look and see what's going on with the hurricane forecast on there. All right, no questions on Twitch, no questions on YouTube, so we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for tonight. So if you have any plans out there for tomorrow afternoon, especially for the kids, that is going to be something that really does need to be watched carefully out across the area, as we see again the potential for these storms to create possible severe weather. So that is something again that really does seem to be affecting the area quite a lot over the last several weeks, no question about that, but at least it's not on the weekend. So some good news where that is concerned on there. Chip Chapman will have more on your forecast coming up bright and early on the morning show. We'll have an update on everything happening there, so definitely want to keep it tuned for more on that. And again, that starts at 5 a.m. Eastern Time Thursday, so if you'd like an update with Mr. Chip, he'll be on to give you an idea as to what's going on. And, of course, I'll be in. A good possibility we may be doing some wall-to-wall coverage by tomorrow night, depending on if we have anything in the way of storms taking place that do have rotation in them. This forecast could change very quickly, so something, again, to really pay attention to, especially at the schools. Kids letting out about the same time that the thunderstorms are going to be moving in and developing around our area. So the principals, the teachers, the administrators, hopefully all the schools out there have weather radios that are plugged in, battery-powered, backup, and ready to go, because we may need those tomorrow. So Skywarn spotters, you may be called upon tomorrow to see what goes on. And if anything is issued out there for that, we will let you know. But for right now, things are decent quiet at the time being. And National Weather Service Morristown saying spotter reports may be needed Thursday afternoon due to the potential of severe thunderstorms and large hail. So there's your warning for anybody out there who is a Skywarn spotter to watch what is going on. Thanks for joining us on Wednesday night, the 9th of April, live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee at the News 12 studios on Broad Street, south of downtown. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. We'll have more with Chip Chapman in the morning and special weather coverage on Thursday afternoon should it be necessary. Stay tuned on air and online, and check us out again.